Welcome back to Cast Cooking, guys. It's almost St. Patrick's Day, one of my favorite holidays. That's why I'm rocking the green. In this two-part video, we're going to do a corned beef recipe and a pastrami recipe. The corned beef is going to be steamed or boiled, and the pastrami is going to be cooked on the smoker. So let's get into the video. Alright guys, so what I've got here is two 8-pound brisket flats. I got them from my local Sam's Club. I trimmed all the fat off of them as most I could. What we're going to do is prick holes in these and get them ready for the brine solution. So I've got this little corn cob holder here, and I'm just going to prick the meat, cover the whole surface of it, and this is going to help get our curing solution, our brine, deeper inside the meat. Make sure you do both sides. So I'm going to do these, and then we'll go over how to put our brine together. Now for our pickling spice, we've got 2 tablespoons of rainbow peppercorns, basically mixed peppercorns with some allspice berries, 1.5 tablespoons of allspice berries, just to add a little more to this mix, 1.5 tablespoons of mustard seeds, 1 tablespoon of black peppercorns, 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1 teaspoon of whole cloves, 2 tablespoons of coriander seeds, 1 tablespoon of crushed red pepper, and 2 tablespoons of dill seeds. Don't get dill weed, get dill seeds, there is a difference. And then over here we've got 4 crushed cinnamon sticks. Alright guys, now in a little skillet here, we're going to turn on the heat to medium. We're going to add all of our pickling spice ingredients to the skillet. You know what I forgot earlier? Some bay leaves. So I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, 4 crushed bay leaves to our pickling spice also. No oil or anything. Just kind of roast these, toast them until they become fragrant. Once you start getting all the aromas off of there, pull them off, let them cool down. And then we're going to crack them. So I'm just kind of using a whisk to stir this around in there since I got some ground powder in there. Kind of hear it crackling. Alright, so just a little bit at a time, we're going to take our mortar and pestle and just kind of crack these seeds and peppercorns and allspice berries open to release a little more fragrance and flavor. Alright, let's set this aside and put our curing solution together. Now for our brine / curing solution, we've got 1 gallon of purified water. You can use distilled water also in this foam container already. To that we're going to add 2.5 cups kosher salt, 1 cup of packed light brown sugar, and 6 teaspoons of Anthony's Prague Powder No. 1 curing salt. And we are just going to whisk that together until dissolved. Alright guys, now we made just enough pickling spice to put 1/2 cup in here, which is what you want to do. And you also want to make more of this pickling spice for the cooking process of the corned beef. So remember that recipe so you can make some more later. 1/2 cup of pickling spice going in. We're going to stir that around a little bit. Man, this smells good. Alright, now let's get our beef briskets in here, and then we're going to add another gallon of purified / distilled water until the beef briskets are just covered. Alright, it's time for our beautiful prime brisket flats to go into our brining curing solution. So here we go. First one in. Dunked under all that goodness. There you go. Now let's get our pastrami / corned beef second guy in there. Push them down, let them submerge. Now we are going to flip these once a day. We're going to open this, get in here, take it out, flip it over, just to help the curing solution and the brine do its thing properly. Just going to get in there and give them a good flip once a day. Now that's almost enough water. You know what? I think we're just going to stick with this amount of water. We're going to put a little bowl in here or a little plate, anything that fits in your brining container, to sit on top, something that's food safe, something you can wash, to hold the brisket flats down underneath the liquid so that way they're completely covered the entire time they're brining. So I'm going to get a little bowl and put that on top there. Alright, so now we're going to use this little glass dish. Push the meat down under the fluid. and that way they're completely submerged and ready to go. We're gonna add a little ice to the side here to keep it cold, and this is gonna go in the fridge for 10 days. Flip the meat once a day to help the brine do its thing, and after 10 days, you'll be ready to cook some corned beef and or pastrami. The reason you want to go 10 days is to help the curing salt make its way all the way to the center of the meat. If you go 5 days, 7 days, you run the risk of slicing into it and getting a gray strip through the middle of the meat. You don't want that, so give it a good full 10 days. Now that it's been 10 days, we're gonna get our brisket out of the brine, rinse it off completely, and we're gonna throw it in the pot and boil it till it's done. All right, in a clean sink, just gonna rinse this off. Notice how it turned kind of a grayish color. That means our brine made it into the meat. There's some pink areas still. That's okay. Once you got it all rinsed off, we're gonna set it over here on a wire rack. That'll be our corned beef. And now we'll rinse off our flat for the pastrami. All right, now we're just gonna discard the brine. You can use a sieve or a strainer to catch everything. All right, brine discarded. Alright, you probably noticed that we switched to a 5-gallon bucket for our brining process because the styrofoam bin that we had it in started seeping, it started sweating brine out, and that's not good. So my advice to you is to right away start with a 5-gallon brining bucket. You can buy them online. We went to Walmart and just got a plastic 5-gallon bucket with a lid, put our brining solution in there, the briskets in, and then weighed it down with a glass bowl and put the lid on. Every day I went in here and stirred it up and moved them around to try to get the briskets covered in the brining solution completely, and after 10 days we took them out and rinsed them. Alright, now that we're at a rolling boil, we're going to add our pickling spices and throw in our brisket. And when you drop that in, you're going to lose your boil. It's going to drop the water temperature. Bring it back to a boil. Boil it for about 15 or 20 minutes. Then we're going to reduce the heat to a simmer, cover with a lid, and cook for 3 to 4 hours. Alright, so we've been at a rolling boil for a good 15-20 minutes. We're going to turn this down to a simmer. Medium-high heat should do the trick. Give those spices and our pickling spice mixture a good stir. Alright, now we're going to let this simmer for 3 hours. We're going to check on it, and if we need to, we'll go another hour or so. Alright, now after 4.5 hours, we know that this is ready to pull out and rest because these fibers of the meat just pull apart very easily. You don't want this thing pulling apart. When you pick it up with a fork, it just falls apart. But you want it to the point where these separate pretty easily. So this is looking pretty good. And we're going to get this wrapped in foil, and we're going to throw in some potatoes and carrots and some cabbage and serve it up Irish style. Just like that, we got it wrapped in foil. This will keep it nice and hot. Set it aside. And we're just going to dump in a bag of baby carrots, maybe 2 bags, why not? We're going to take some red potatoes, okay, our corned beef is rested, let's just slice into it. Turn that away. Oh man, it's just falling apart. Looking good on the inside. Pulls apart real nice. Not falling apart. Alright, let's give this a try. Yes.
You're rolling.
Alright. Alright guys, this turned out pretty good. So notice how we got that nice pink color in there. That means our curing salt made it all the way through. We don't have a gray strip in the middle when we slice into it. It doesn't fall right apart, but it just pulls right apart super easy. So let's just give this a taste. Nothing strong comes out right away. It just tastes super good. Throw this on a sandwich. We're gonna eat this with some red potatoes and carrots and some cabbage. St. Patty's Day corned beef. there you have it. Thank you guys for watching. Stick around for part 2. Pastrami coming at you. Like, share, subscribe. See you in the next video.